So when it comes to teaching reading for myself, I have very many concerns. The biggest one is just knowing that I'm going to be responsible for setting a child's foundation for reading. If I mess something up or I don't teach them well enough, then that could mess their reading up for the rest of their years in school or the rest of their lives even. So that's just the biggest thing that scares me, knowing that, if I'm teaching them as a kindergartner or first grader, then I have to teach them well because I'm setting their foundation for reading. And then also just teaching them letter sounds. And I wrote down, for example, PH, P, the sound P makes P, P, and H makes H, but together they make the F sound, like phone. So that's just one example of letter sounds that would throw me off, knowing how to teach them why PH makes the F sound and teach them all the words in which it makes the F sound. Just little things like that. And there are other letter combinations too, but PH was just an example. And then silent letters, that kind of scares me to teach them, because how can I explain to them that you don't have to spell out every sound in certain words? And an example would be castle. There's a silent T, or even Christmas, there's a silent T there too. So I think it would be hard for me to make them understand that there are silent letters in some words and you don't have to spell them out. And then also just phonics, making sure that my students will know the relationship between letters and sounds and why certain letters make certain sounds and why letter pairs make certain sounds. But to address these concerns, I've come up with a few things that I think might help. And the biggest one for me right now would just be to have confidence in my ability to teach. Right now, I don't have the biggest ability yet, but when I'm done with the program, I know that I will be ready and I won't be thrown out there to teach them if I'm not capable of it. So I think just having confidence in myself and believing in myself that I can teach them these things is going to be big for me. And then just some other smaller things, just to use small groups a lot. Like if I'm teaching kindergarten and I would have a parapro, so knowing that me and the parapro can work with our students in smaller groups to really explain to them more in depth about reading and assessing them a lot. Just constantly assessing them, making sure that they understand. And if they don't understand, then, going back a few steps and saying, okay, this is, how you do this. Just making sure if they don't understand something, you go back and make sure they understand it before you move on. And then finally, just encourage a lot of discussions so you can make sure that they understand why we're doing this. Not just how to do it, but why we're doing it. Because overall, if they can comprehend it and they know why we're learning certain things, then I think it'll help them to remember better in the future, and it will help them be ready to move on to the next grade as far as reading goes. But yeah, I know that these are just concerns I have now, and I have belief and confidence that after the semester, and especially after Block 4, that I won't have any concerns, and that I know that we're being taught everything that we need to be taught, and I know that I will do just fine.